What's happening?
Hello, welcome. We are back. It's week 44. Boxing this week, 44. It's a big week. We've got Jaron Ennis, Terence Crawford, Dalton Smith, Ben Whittaker, Warrington, Giorgio Visioli. Is there anything else? I think there must be other stuff. Ray Ford. I don't know. There's loads going on. And the WBC World Cup, I think is what they're calling it, or Grand Prix, starts tonight. Tomorrow night, something like that. So we got loads to go through. But first of all, Paolo, how are you?
I'm good, man. The eagle left the building. Back in short hair. Hairline intact. No need to go to Turkey yet, but that might be on the card soon. Apart from that, man, I'm good, man. I'm good. Like I said to you, there is something else we need to bring up during the show as well. And when we do the clip for it, I will clip what these idiots have said. Okay. I say idiots. They're friends of mine, innit? But
all right, okay.
Greeny, it's always Greeny. So Greeny on Combat Kings come out with an audacious statement. Shane made the point of saying that Conor McGregor's the only star that UFC's had, superstar, when you talk about what he done for the sport. These lot started mentioning Brock Lesnar, Chuck Liddell. Brock Lesnar is claiming
Brock Lesnar kind of, but that's more WWE.
Yeah, claiming Brock Lesnar's wild because that's like signing The Rock to UFC and going, "Now we made him."
Yeah.
Chuck Liddell, nobody outside of MMA has a clue who he is, unless you watch a bit of MMA. I do. I know who he is, but it's wild. And apparently, boxing's only got one mega superstar.
No. Who's the one? Is it Ali?
No, Loons from Combat, who was on the Combat King show, didn't say. Like we've only got one apparently. So I need some clarification on that because that rattled me. I mean, if you want to talk about retired fighters, we can bring up Tyson, we can bring up Holyfield, Lennox. You can bring up Mayweather. He's retired. Forgot to throw that one in.
Muhammad Ali, George Foreman,
Oscar De La Hoya. He was a big fighter back when he was fighting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Duran, Hagler, Hearns, Leonard,
carry
Robinson, Canelo now, AJ now, Fury retired. Usyk to an extent, I guess less so, but still.
Tyson Fury,
definitely. Klitschko brothers, I feel. Well, Vladimir at least. Manny Pacquiao, definitely. Julio Cesar Chavez, Mexico. Crawford.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't get that.
No. We'll leave it there.
Yeah, I don't get that point. How do we only have one?
Anyways, over to you, Greeny. We will be putting this out. Okay, Karen.
Lennox Lewis. Like there's an endless list. Eubank, Ben. Oh my god. Anyway, right. So that's throwing me right off.
Rattled me when I watched that. Sorry.
Weekly roundup. There's not really a lot to say. I mean, I was looking through before, so I don't think anything's come out massively. Tommy Fury's making a comeback in
2 seconds, Connor.
In Budapest. That's all right. Yeah, Tommy Fury's fighting again. I gotta be honest. Does anyone care? I know I don't. I don't think Paolo does. I don't want to speak for him. He might be a big Tommy Fury fan, but I don't think so. I'm literally scrolling IFL TV right now, so sue me. Don't actually sue me. That's a terrible thing to say. What else?
Sorry.
Other than Tommy Fury returning, the only interesting thing...
Who the hell cares?
Exactly. That's what I've just said. The only other interesting thing is that Benavidez versus Callum Smith is underway. Talks for the fight. That's good. So, but other than that, nothing else.
Out of curiosity, who's Tommy Fury fighting?
I don't know. He's fighting in Budapest.
On what?
May 9th. No, just his own thing.
Okay, so he's going back down the professional route then.
Apparently, but...
Interested.
Shall we see if it's on BoxRec? It might be, but...
If it's a professional fight, it will be. You've got to remember, his fights against KSI are on BoxRec.
Yeah, oh yeah.
It's a professional fight, isn't it?
Yeah. He's 10-0. Jesus. Right. Anyway, I mean, he's fine, whatever. But he's returning. I don't care. I'm not. I'll probably see a clip of it the next day.
Yeah, he'll probably win.
Yeah, 100%.
But I'm just. Do you know what it is? Yeah, I'm more annoyed. I know we got to talk about a lot, but I just want to say quick. I'm more annoyed because, like, I was really like excited to see like another Fury stepping into the realm of boxing and doing certain things. And obviously, I know they've got their other brother fighting as well, who's still learning his trade. He was a rugby player. He's gone into professional boxing now. One of the Fury brothers. I can't remember.
They've got a few. I mean, Fury's still about. But...
not Huey Fury though. I'm not. Huey Fury's established. I'm talking
they got
about
Roman Fury.
Roman Fury. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah.
So he's more up and coming. He looks good, like for the stage he's at. But I was disappointed with Tommy Fury, man. I really was. I understand the money side of it to go onto a show like Misfits. You're never ever going to earn them purses unless you're in championship fights. And to be offered it that early in your career, you'll be stupid. I don't think if anyone was offered that at the stage that he was at, they'd be stupid to turn it down. So I don't knock him for
100%.
it. But I'm just disappointed. I don't know where he's going with this.
Yeah, it's tough, isn't it? Like, problem is if he does the Jake Paul fight, then does the KSI fight, and then goes straight back to normal boxing, it's like, right, you've made, I don't know, 5 million easy, and now you're fighting normal people again. Fine. Some people will hate on that, but ultimately that's not fair. That's somebody making their bread and then going, right, okay, now I need to actually do what I want to do. If it's a bit different though, because he's taken years off. I mean, when did him and KSI fight? Was that 2024? 23? I don't know. Hold on. When did they fight? They fought in October of 2023.
Yeah, that's a
so
long
he's been
time.
out the ring for a year and a half. He's a prospect.
That's a long time.
I mean, he's been professional for 7 years and he's had 10 fights. That's not. There's nothing there that suggests he could go and do anything with his career that's particularly impressive. But
100%.
Either way, if he is trying, fair play. It's just, we'll see.
Yeah. Anyway,
right. Biggest news is that Jaron Ennis is elite, and not just elite. Last week we were comparing him a little bit to Shakur. We were saying he needs to step up.
He's stepped up.
But I was expecting, like a lot of people, Stanionis to put something really tough together. Like just a hard Eastern European fighter who doesn't really get hurt, comes at you, and is just pretty skillful. Ennis made him look stupid.
Jaron Ennis walked through somebody like a man who's drank milk and he's lactose intolerant.
Yeah. I mean, that was Derek Chisora-esque, but yeah.
It's the only way to describe it. It was so one-sided, the fight, when I watched it back, he actually threw a combo at one point, and I just thought, how greedy. And then, to make it even worse, Stanionis has gone extended like really far, threw a punch, maybe overextended. Ennis has moved and just looked to his left and stared at the crowd for about 2 seconds, maybe 4 seconds.
Yeah.
Looked back, carried on. The confidence levels at that level, bearing in mind, certain things that Ennis does in there, Ben Whittaker does at the level he's fighting at.
Yeah.
Ennis is fighting at a world level.
That's the thing. Stanionis is world champion. Won that in the ring. Was going to fight Virgil Ortiz. That was going to be a close fight. Like a legitimate world champion. And Ennis is making him look stupid.
Terence Crawford and flipping Ennis, man.
That's the question. That's what we need.
Because I don't know. Because this Canelo Crawford fight is in talks, But I feel like with Crawford, what's Crawford? 35, 36? So we're looking at it now, like we're just seeing a man who is getting older, waiting for maybe bigger fights. Understandably, he's at a stage of his career now where he can generate them kind of fights. He's done everything in boxing, but the Ennis Crawford fight, if Crawford could be Ennis, what does that say about Crawford in terms of the legacy? Now he's like multiple. Now he's a world champion, like fully fledged world champion, not just IBF, fully fledged. There's more money in that fight because before the whole thing was that he didn't offer belts. He's got belts now, but he won the belt that Crawford relinquished, I think, and he's gone and won the belts now and defended belts and won belts. It has to make sense, but then I don't know if we're going to see that for a year, because I feel like at this point now, I think Terence Crawford's preparing his body to fight at 168. Yeah. So I'm not sure if we're going to see that fight in the near future, but I would like to see it at some point, maybe after the Canelo fight, if the Canelo fight happens, which I hope it does.
I mean, welterweight champions left. You've got Mario Barrios and I want to say Arslan. Is it Lara?
Well, he's going to realistically.
Going to have to retire. Like
the fights that he's going to be looking at now, because you've got Ben and Eubank next week. I think he'll be watching that closely because Ben is in line for a world title. The loss against Eubank won't do anything to his ranking in the division, in the 154 or 147 division, whatever he's fighting at.
Yeah, it shouldn't.
So it won't do anything to his rankings, but.
Oh, Brian Norman Jr. Sorry, Lara's a middleweight. What am I on about?
What's more interesting is if Conor Benn is able to shock the world, because I do think it is a shock the world thing to go up 2 weights to fight Eubank. I think he is the underdog in that sense. If he beats Chris Eubank, that fight with Ennis grows tenfold.
Definitely grows, yeah. I want to be very honest. I don't think Conor Benn can touch Ennis.
Do you know what it is? I get what you're saying, but then I also think Conor Benn is a fighter that I feel like each fight he gets, wherever he's fighting or whoever he's fighting, he gets put in there. At the start, he was in there, to learn, get the ring experience. He was knocking everyone out.
Yeah,
they put him in there with a guy who they thought, this is like an ex-world level fighter. Absolutely rattled him. I feel like he's the kind of fighter that is able to adapt to who he's fighting in the sense of it brings the best out in him. I think you'll see the best Conor Benn fighting Ennis, but he is fighting Jared Ennis. It will be his hardest fight. It will be harder than Chris Eubank.
Oh, 100, not even close. Eubank, a big thing is if Ben goes and beats Eubank next week and makes it look relatively easy, which I can't really see happening. I can see him winning. I can't see it happening easily. But if he makes it look easy and we see something a bit different, then I can maybe look at the idea that Ben could beat Ennis. But right now, there's nothing Ennis. I only see Ennis in a tough fight against Crawford. Maybe if he moves up in weight to 154, there's some other tough fights. But this is what I'm saying. I mean, Brian Norman Jr. is a very good world champion. Ennis will beat Brian Norman Jr.
Yeah.
Mario Barrios is an okay world champion. I mean that in a respectful way, but he is okay. His last fight was not impressive.
Yeah.
Ennis will beat the brakes off of him.
No, I hear it, but you see that division, realistically, if Conor Benn fights Stanionis now, yeah?
Yeah.
He's not a title, but if he fights Stanionis, Conor Benn beats Stanionis, we're still going to be saying the same things. He's beaten Stanionis, but Ennis has beaten him already.
Yeah.
So I do think if he's got a world title shot in line, you just got to throw the kitchen sink at it. That's what he's got to do.
Yeah, I agree. You might be right. I don't actually know if there's anyone better than Conor Benn at welterweight.
Yeah.
I think he might be the second best.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because if Ryan Garcia moves up, about Devin Haney moving up, there's them fights on the table.
Suddenly that becomes a packed division.
So
Garcia, that's when we're starting. That's why I want Ennis to stay at welter. I don't want him chasing Crawford.
What's even more interesting is, and I know he's the lightest of them, but how far can a Gervonta Davis go?
He ain't going anywhere, I don't think. I think
and then there's that fight for Conor Benn as well. Conor Benn could drop a little bit to fight Gervonta, or they could meet at a catch weight. or not catch weight, but they could meet reasonably where Conor Benn doesn't lose too much.
Yeah.
So there's big fights for Conor Benn there, but I think he wants the world title fights. But then you're talking about Harlem Eubank as well.
Yeah, if Conor Benn beats Chris Eubank, I think Harlem Eubank's got a bit of catching up to do, which is fair enough. He's not been a pro. He's been a pro for a while, but not that long. Like, we're talking world level here. Conor Benn has a chance to get himself an automatic world title shot if he beats Eubank. Even if he doesn't, he's probably got a good shot because his name is going to be bigger than ever. I want to see Ben fight Mario Barrios because that's a legitimate world champion. He's not the best world champion, but he's a legitimate world champion. And I think Conor Benn will win. It's a hard fight, but I think he'd win. Barrios is a big guy as well. Barrios is way too big for 147. Then, fuck it, unify. Fight Ennis.
There's a lot of fights there, but obviously with Ennis, if he wins, I think Ennis can go up.
Yeah,
it's a weird one. Like, if Conor Benn's going to fight Ennis, he's got to do it now. Well, not now, but in the next fight. Because I think there'll be a time where Ennis will then turn his attention to Terence. When you're talking about Ennis and Terence, I don't think... Like, if you put Conor... Like, I don't think Terence and Ennis is a fight that's wanted by Saudi more than maybe Ennis and Ben. But then it's not far behind, I don't think. And that's only because of the rivalry that Terence and Ennis have got. But then ultimately as well, do you know what? With Saudi involved, you could see Ben and Ennis fighting and you still get money for it. It's a hard one. I just think, obviously, Terence fight just tips it because it's Terence Crawford.
Yeah, I understand.
But then Ben is not that far behind in terms of important fights for Ennis. Obviously, you've got Virgil Ortiz in there as well. There's big names. There's big names.
Huge names. I think the way I'm looking at Ennis right now, and it might be recency bias, I'm looking at him as a potential. There's a few guys right now that are relatively young, and when you watch them, you think that is just, I'm watching an all-time, that's an all-time great.
Yes.
In 10 years' time. And I think that's Bam Rodriguez, Moses Atalma, Jaron Ennis.
I'm going to stop you. Moses Atalma I see where you're going with it, but do you know what? I had to think about it the other day, and I'm like, I think we need to let that one season a bit.
Yeah, of course. I'm not saying...
When you're talking about Ennis and Bam, they're like established world champions. So,
but then I think that just... the way I'm looking at it, if I put Moses Atalma in a place where Charles Martin's the IBF world champion, then Moses Atalma becomes the youngest world champion in the world. He won't break Mike Tyson's record because the division's too strong. And the guy at the top of the division is Alexander Usyk.
But then he's so confident that he could do Usyk. You need that confidence, though.
Yeah, he wouldn't right now.
He got slated for it in like a video where he was talking about it, and I'm like, it goes back to the point, like, what do you expect a fighter to say? Like, they can't do it? Like, and it goes back to the thing of, given we know, we was talking about Joe Joyce last week and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But ultimately, you can't have a go at him for believing he's going to win, because why else is he fighting? Unless, even to an aspect of it, you take someone like Derek Chisora, who you know is a more of a businessman when it comes to boxing, maybe, than the results.
Yeah.
But don't get it twisted. Derek Chisora is still at a level where, like, he will believe that he can win. I don't think that you can be in any boxing ring if you don't believe you can win. And what's the point of aiming for being a world champion if you don't think at some point that you can beat these guys?
Exactly. You won't be a world champion. That's the fact. You won't
test yourself against the best. And this is my most frustrating thing when you see, and I do call them, like, I wouldn't even say casual fans, because a lot of these casual fans that are watching know a lot about boxing in terms of just watching it and digesting it. But I would say more ignorant fans that say, "Wow, why is Moses saying that?" Like you've got to bet, you've got to put yourself strong.
Also, he might be 20 years old, but he's
2
ranked.
seconds, Connor. Yeah, go on.
Right, he's a ranked heavyweight. Like that's we're talking about someone that, if all the cards fell right, he's fighting for a world title. If a week before the cards fell right, he's saying, "No, I wouldn't win that fight," then that just looks shit. There's a few fighters in the world that I just think will be remembered as all-time greats. I think Moses will be. I think in 10 years' time, I don't see how, unless something happens, he's not going to keep winning.
Mm.
I could see him being rushed and getting a loss. He might take a step too far.
Yeah.
It might be a Daniel Dubois kind of thing, where he's rushed just a little bit. But I think Daniel Dubois is going to be remembered as one of the best British heavyweights of all time.
If Joshua didn't believe that he couldn't be world heavyweight champion again, there'd be no point in him fighting. So he has to believe it. Do you get it? And to be honest with you as well, we're talking about someone he's not done. Like, I was watching something the other day with Eddie Hearn was saying, and it was like, yes, he's got the knockout loss against Dubois. Yes, you can talk about the thing with Joshua, for example, when we're talking about the belief and having that belief. It's the most wild thing I've never understood is how people question his chin. Because correct me if I'm wrong, that he's only been knocked out. Were you talking about Dubois, where he was knocked badly?
Yeah.
Ruiz, he got back on his feet. The ref stopped it.
Yeah.
And then you're talking about Klitschko, which he got up from and then knocked Klitschko out.
Yeah.
So we're talking about 3 instances, if I'm not wrong. Yeah. 3 instances.
Yeah, Joshua's only negative. His recovery isn't the best.
No, 100%.
But his chin's fine. The guy doesn't get knocked out.
When people say he doesn't have a chin.
Yeah,
like, genuinely.
But he's hated on massively.
I need people to come on this show. We let people on the show. The links in our bio every week. Please tell me how once you've heard that you can argue otherwise.
Yeah.
Because it's mental. But obviously, that's a debate for another day. That's in my rattled piles of Combat Kings' Stardom UFC thing.
Yeah.
Big up to them though, because they're doing big things to their show. And but yeah, going back to obviously, yeah, you have to have belief. Like, if you ain't got belief, I'm not paying to watch you fight.
No, imagine how dead that'd be. Oh, I'm gonna lose this fight. I'm not very good.
You want me to front 60, 70 pounds for you to just not have any belief that you're gonna win?
Yeah, not a chance.
Come on, man.
Who are the future greats then? In boxing right now,
Connor. Huh?
In boxing right now, we got the sort of Crawfords, Canelos, Usyks that are sort of on their way out, but they're definitely all-time greats towards the end of their careers. And we got the newer guys like Bam Rodriguez, Jaron Ennis, even the Haney's, Garcia, Shakur Stevenson, Nakatani. I mean, who pick one of these guys, just one of the younger ones, one of these more established but still kind of come up and coming.
Jay Opetaia.
You think Jay Opetaia
could be a great in terms of the cruiserweights? I don't think that he'll move further than cruiserweights because I think he's too light to fight a heavyweight. And again, I think this was a conversation that I was having with Ellis Zoro before, not like in a disrespectful way, but it was more like a thing of it would be interesting. And again, I'm not putting words in Ellis Zoro's mouth because I said this. And I said that at one point I thought Opetaia could move up to heavyweight, but a lot of the guys are a lot bigger at heavyweight. So would that suit Opetaia? Maybe would he be down for fighting them? 100% is what he said to me. He'll fight anyone. But there's when you're talking about Opetaia, we're talking about somebody who, in terms of the cruiserweight division, that's going to suit him. But I can't, not thinking about it, I can't see him moving up to heavyweight. I just think he'd be too light. I think where his strengths are and what he's good at suits him being light. So for him to come in and do maybe what Usyk's done and get heavy to go and fight a heavyweight, I don't think would suit him.
I think Usyk's a special. There's a special kind of fighter that can go from cruiser to heavy.
Yeah,
that's not a normal weight jump because you can be 2 pounds heavier than you were. 10 pounds heavier than you were at cruiserweight and be a heavyweight, but you're fighting somebody that's 60 pounds heavier.
Yes.
You know, like it's a whole different thing. And not just that, they're 60 pounds heavier, but they move at the same speed as you because they're 6 inches taller. So I think if you went to heavyweight, he would really struggle.
Yeah.
Really struggle. But that is what it is. Right. What else? I mean, let's go to the fights for this weekend.
Yes, sir.
Dalton Smith is fighting.
When are we seeing him and Adam Azim?
I mean, when are we seeing Adam Azim moving up further?
Huh?
Adam Azim for me needs to. I think Dalton Smith is like levels above right now.
I know, but at what point? Because I was talking. Do you know what? I don't. It sounds like I'm name dropping here, but I genuinely, I interviewed Johnny Nelson.
Yeah.
And I asked him about this, but he was like, "We can't. You got to give Adam Azim time." And I thought at the time, yeah, it makes sense. But then I'm like, how many fights on Boxer can Adam Azim have before he has to take that step up?
Mm.
Do you get it?
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, I'm looking. The problem is, I'm looking at it, and Dalton Smith is a fight away from a world title shot. He's going to fight Germain. I think he'll beat Mathieu Germain. I've not watched a lot of Germain, if any, really. I saw a clip on Tuesday.
Yeah,
he looks like a decent boxer, but he's not. Dalton Smith. I think Dalton Smith will get another highlight reel knockout. That's my prediction for it. Dalton Smith then goes into a world title shot. Adam Azim is at European level, definitely.
Yeah.
But is Adam Azim even close to a world title, really? Do you think? I mean, I don't think so. Not yet.
I don't.
But he's one fight away. Like, everyone's one fight away. Like if he has,
everyone's one fight away.
But not in the same way.
I don't know. I just don't know how many fights. Because when I watch Adam Azim, I like Adam Azim. He's a good boxer, and I just think he's starting to pull away from the guys that he's fighting now. Maybe because he's very as good as obviously what I'm saying, but I think that Dalton Smith and Adam Azim fight on a Saudi card would be unreal.
Yeah, 100%. I like the idea that it is for a title as well. We've left it a while now, so why not? Yeah. Why not do it? You know, in a year's time, Dalton Smith's world champion. Adam Azim will get there. Why not? But yeah, I mean, as for the fight this weekend, it's a good fight card from top to bottom. Really, we got Josh Padley, first matchroom appearance as a matchroom fighter.
Full-time
We've got
fighter.
Josh Warrington. That's a good point, actually. Josh Padley as a full-time athlete now, so it'll be interesting to see how much better he is because he beat Mark Chamberlain, and all right, he didn't really do anything to Shakur, but it's Shakur. It was late notice, and he's not full-time, so we're not counting that really. You've also got Giorgio Visioli, who I'm going to mention because I'm pretty certain this guy is Britain's one of our best talents up and coming. He's his power along with the timing is stupid. Who's he fighting actually? That could be quite a good fight. Hold on. But the point is, this is a good event. This is what I like as well because it's not Riyadh season. He's fighting Kane Baker. Kane Baker's a veteran. So Giorgio Visioli, I mean, if I'm honest, Giorgio will beat him. I think quite easily.
Yeah.
But top to bottom, it's a good fight card.
100%.
I'm excited for that. And there's not a lot to say about it, if I'm honest. I think the fight I'm most interested in is probably Josh Warrington.
Yeah.
Obviously, he did technically retire after the fight he had on the undercard of Anthony Joshua Dubois. Technically, he put his gloves in the ring, said it was done. He has come back without saying too much. Personally, I think he probably should retire, but if he feels like he can do it, why not? I think Maybe I don't know.
Who's he going to fight?
Asad Asif Khan, who's 19-6-1. So I think Warrington will win. I don't imagine this is a fight he will struggle with.
Putting your gloves in the ring, that's such an MMA UFC thing to do, isn't it?
Yeah. That's what Molly what's her name? Molly McCann? Yeah, she did that, didn't she? Which feel like is a good time to say shout out Paddy Pimblett, because if you've seen that knee that he landed where he cuts Michael Chandler's face open. I know we're a boxing show, but
but we are a multi-sport channel.
Yeah. That's mental what he did. It was like a hatchet wound. That's crazy. Which is anyway.
You talk about Paddy Pimblett for a minute, yeah? The guy's doubted in every one of his fights. And these are the kind of guys that I watch in the UFC and stuff like that. Because I do watch a little bit of it. And it's just interesting to see where he goes next. There's some massive fights for him in that division. But he's doubted every time and he proves people wrong. So at some point, the only thing I will say is I don't know if anyone's going to beat the champion, Makhachev.
Oh, yeah, Islam. Yeah.
Islam. Go Dagestan 2-3 years and forget.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? We need to do that, Connor. Go train in Dagestan for 2 or 3 years.
Do we? It'd be fun. 2-3 years, maybe like a day.
A day.
I've got to be honest. I don't really want to go Russia right now. Maybe when the war and all that.
But it's not Russia.
It's still kind of Russia. I don't really want to go to Russia right now.
Yeah, I understand. I hear it.
It'd be probably quite cheap.
I saw a stream the other day. I saw a video the other day. Apparently, it costs £993 to go Dagestan for 2-3 years and forget.
Really?
Yeah.
That's mental.
Yeah.
I'm more tempted by it now.
Really? What? Go and do a stream? Go do a iShow Speed in Dagestan.
Yeah, for 2 or 3 years.
And forget. Don't forget that.
And then just go to the UFC. Casually win the title.
Connor would come back with either a beard or he's sticking one on.
Yeah. I'd have to. If I don't grow a beard, I think they'd bully me.
No, they do. They whip. You have to shave your hair off as well. Have you not seen training videos in the gym?
I've seen some of their stuff, but no, the one I watched was Mighty Mouse and Islam training, and Khabib's in it. That's a really good video.
Yeah,
so Demetrius Johnson and all that.
In the Dagestani gyms, you've got to have, say for example, the beard. This would have to go, so it's just there.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Have one level of a haircut. If you don't, you get whipped with some fucking like heavy thing in the gym, like lashes on your back. It's crazy.
Oh Lord, I'd be dead. Okay, I don't know if I'm going to do that. I'll let you know next week.
Oh, shout out to Paddy Pimblett, man.
Yeah, he's sick. Anyway, what else is? Oh, another great fight this weekend, or not a great event, but a great fight. Ben Whittaker versus Liam Cameron 2, which is going ahead. They've sorted out their dispute with the contract.
Are we doing 12 rounds?
10.
Ah, right.
Yeah. Let's talk about this, because I think Ben Whittaker quit in the last fight. Nobody knows what he was feeling or going like in his head, what was going on, but it was very weird, and he was losing. He should have lost the fight.
I don't think he quit. I just think he's losing the fight.
He was definitely losing the fight, but Liam Cameron should have that win.
I do think ending it as a draw is a bit of a joke, because both fighters got up and his corner wasn't able to continue. So in that scenario, I'm pretty sure the rules are you lose a fight.
Yeah, it's accidental. So they go to the scorecards, but how the scorecards didn't have Liam Cameron up anyway is mental. He was winning comfortably.
Yeah, but we've got incompetent judges in this country.
Yeah, true. But they've run it back Saturday. I haven't even looked at the event. Like, it's a difficult one. The promotion for it's not been good. That's well, it's kind of a given, really. I mean, Boxer are not having their best time at the moment. Or it feels like that, at least. Right. Fraser Clark returns. That's something.
I know Fabio Wardley said he broke his skull, man.
He did. We saw it. We saw the dent. It was horrible.
Do you want to know the funniest thing about that?
What?
Someone underneath the comments thought they were really smart and said, well, you didn't break his skull, did you? Because you broke his jaw, which is part of his skull. Okay, you broke his skull. Yeah.
Why are people so stupid? Anyway, fucking hell. Fraser Clark is fighting Ebenezer Teta. Not a bad fight. As a comeback fight, I'm okay with that. The problem is there's no fight on this card that actually interests me other than the main event. And on the same night is Dalton Smith versus Smith-Germain. And near every fight on that card is interesting. But I got to be honest, the main event of Whittaker-Cameron interests me more than Dalton Smith because I think Dalton Smith will win. I don't think Ben Whittaker's going to win this.
I don't think that you will see a stats card with Boxer.
Yeah, I mean, their female cards are pretty stacked. But obviously they're trying to build. It's difficult, right? They're building their fighters in a time where everyone else is established. So you kind of have to cut them some slack. But
the female card was unreal. Their two female cards have been their best cards. Some of their best cards that they've done.
Easily. I mean, I can't think of anything that tops the Claressa Shields, Savannah Marshall, Baumgardner, Mayer, Caroline Dubois was on that. Lauren Price was on it. I can't think of anything that tops that, but
it's interesting.
That they've done. I mean, maybe Eubank Smith. That was a good event. Either way, look, the point is that Fraser Clark is fair enough. He's got to have a comeback fight. You can't go straight into another great fight. So Teta's not a bad opponent. That might be an okay fight to watch.
Yeah.
The rest of them they're fine, but they're not brilliant.
No.
And it feels like Ben Whittaker versus Liam Cameron, for all that it's got the animosity, it doesn't feel like a main event to me. It kind of feels like this card.
It's not a main event. It's just a tick of fight box. It has to. The rematch has to be done.
Yeah.
There's no other way to say it.
It feels like the card is missing its main event. But either way, like I said, I probably will watch Whittaker-Cameron over Smith-Germain. So they've done something right. I am interested by this. I think Liam Cameron will win. I don't think Whittaker hits hard enough.
Yeah, I'm not betting with you.
I could be wrong. I might be very wrong. I'm going with Liam Cameron.
I'm just going to enjoy the fight.
You're just going to enjoy the fight?
Yeah.
Sitting on the fence.
If Ben Whittaker turns up, we're talking about a guy who should win.
Yeah, 100% should win.
But how good is Liam Cameron going to be this time?
I think he'll be better. That's what I think he'll want it more than he did the first time because he'll know he definitely can win it. He's just got the fact that he didn't win it the first time when he should have, and he's fitter. This is a guy that had an alcohol problem for a few years in between his boxing and is really just getting fit again now, which is where he's at. He's hard. Like a big part of it for me is Liam Cameron is just hard as nails. Like Whittaker. What worries me about Ben Whittaker is the fight style that he knows and that is natural to him is the flashy style that we see. That's not him putting it on. That's just how he fights. And that worries me a little bit because I think at amateur level, that obviously worked really well. Silver medalist at the Olympics, blah, blah, blah. But pro game, I don't know if he hits hard enough for Liam Cameron to have any issues. But it would be. Look, I'm interested by it. I think Liam Cameron's going to do it. I don't actually think it's going to be a big upset if he does. But Boxer could well. I mean, Whittaker has to win. Boxer could lose a star this weekend.
Yeah.
So it's a big fight for Whittaker. Fraser Clark, it's a big fight as well. I mean, but to be fair, Boxer could have a terrible week. If Whittaker and Clark lose, that's two of their biggest up-and-comers.
And
struggled.
If I'm not mistaken, but Bawaxi's left Boxer.
Wouldn't be a shock. They don't have Smith. They don't have Eubank. I mean, outside of the female fighters, who are their male fighters that they have got?
Savannah Marshall, but I think she might have left. I'm not sure.
Outside of the female fighters, sorry. So Adam Azim, Vidal Riley.
Callum Simpson,
yeah, good fighter. Very good fighter.
Yeah.
Chris Smith. Okay.
CBS, I don't really know, again with him, where he's going at now.
Well, he's fighting next week, obviously.
Yeah. But
he's on the butt.
It's a tough division he's in.
It is. And I think there's always the worry with a few fighters where you think they've kind of done it. They're skillful, obviously, but they've done it with heart.
Mm-hmm.
I think Callum Smith became world champion through pure determination. So the minute he got in there with Zerdo, who obviously has the heart as well, but also has a bit more skill, that's where he struggles. I can't see Callum Smith beating the likes of Upataya or Zerdo or any of the world champions, really. Difficult one. And he's too big to go down in weight. And I think he's probably too small to go up.
Whatever Callum Smith decides to do, he can hold his head high. I'm proud because I think he's done a lot.
Massively. He's beaten Lawrence Okoli. He's got some great wins. He's beaten Riakporhe.
He'll get a crowd out of Bournemouth all the time. He'll always be able to do home fights, big ones as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, with him, we'll see next week. But yeah, Boxer need something. It doesn't feel like they've really signed anyone for a while, though.
Yeah. Well, they have signed Eubank.
Have they?
Yeah, Eubank is signed to Boxer.
Eubank Jr.? Oh, of course. Yeah, he is, isn't he? Yeah, I'm being stupid. It's the only one he'll work with, isn't it? Because Frank Warren hates Eubank, and Eddie Hearn obviously will not work with Eubank because they don't like each other. And he doesn't like Wasserman boxing. That's who I was thinking of. So I was thinking of the Solon brothers. But Eubank doesn't want to work with them. So, right. So there's a lot
more to that than people think, though. But I can't say it on camera.
That's not really a shock.
No, I mean, as in, it's not what people think it is. And I've heard that from a source. So
okay. Interesting.
I'll tell you off camera.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. Some things aren't meant for commentary.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a big week for Boxer, though, because two of their biggest stars could potentially have big issues. Other than that, I don't think there's anything else to say. I mean, have you got...
No, man. It's just bank holiday weekend.
Yeah, it's a long one. Enjoy it.
Annoyingly,
no fights in America this weekend.
No.
Because this is the weekend to stay up.
When are you going away tomorrow?
Saturday morning.
Okay.
Yeah, Saturday morning. But, yeah. Oh, probably a good time to say, Eubank versus Conor Benn live stream 23rd of April. 26th of April.
Yeah.
Hold on. 26th of April. We are doing it. That will happen for the whole show. So we're starting to tell you about. We talked about it last week. We're telling you about it now. We'll have posts about it on Monday next week. Yeah. Just come join us. It'll be fun. It's always good. We will try and get more people. And if you lot join, then you can be the more people. So it works out. Yeah. That's everything. That's boxing this week. It'll be more exciting. Next week's going to be huge. And then the week after that's going to be even bigger with Canelo, Skull, Haney, Garcia, Lopez, Ramirez, Bacoli, a Jaguar, just everything. So that's going to be massive. Until then, that's boxing this week 44. My God. Right. Like, subscribe, share, follow the Instagram, follow the TikTok, follow.
That's it.
No, that's it. That's it. So just follow those 3. So it's not even that many. Paolo, have you anything you'd like to say to the lovely people at home?
Happy Easter, people.
Happy Easter.
That's it, man. That's
nice.
it. No more negativity from me, man. Just happy Easter.
Happy Easter.